Okay, where do you want me to start?
You can start with 16.
16? Okay, 8?
Yeah,
Oh, let's do 8 because that's the funny one. Let's do 8.
7.
Hold on. I'm all excited about 8. Let's do 8. Okay, let's do 8 because that's the funny one. So I read number 8 yesterday, and it doesn't make any sense. And I was like, what the heck does that mean about the magnifying glass? And we had to figure out the whole scale and proportion and all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking that's kind of weird. But then when you think about it, if I stand right here up close to the board and I look at that 20-degree angle, and then if I walk all the way back here and look at this 20-degree angle, does it look any different to me?
Yeah.
No. The angle is still the same. The rays that make the angle might have appeared to have gotten larger or smaller as I get closer or farther away, but the angle between those two rays stays the same. So the answer to number 8 is it would still be a 20-degree angle. Okay? So that was a tricky one. So the only thing that changes when you're doing these things is the lengths of the sides, but not the angles. All right? Okay, so number 7, we have a tree, hollow tree, and there's an angle here. It is an amazing tree, isn't it? I wonder sometimes if I missed my calling, and I should have been an artist instead. Famous artist. And then I do things like draw this stick figure and I go, nope, shouldn't have been an artist. Okay, so we've got the tree. And we've got the guy, and he walks until his shadow coincides perfectly with the end of the shadow of the tree. And he knows that he is 5 feet 8 inches tall. He knows that when this happens, he is 11 feet 3 inches from the base of the tree. And he is able to measure somehow that the point he stands ends up 8 feet 6 inches from the shadow. Okay? So we have to figure out how tall is the tree in his yard. So what's the first issue we have to deal with? Yes, Alyssa? Right, we can either go into feet or we can go into inches. And since the feet would come out to be crazy decimal numbers, it's probably easier to go all the way to inches. So 5 foot 8 inches is how many inches altogether? 68, because 5 times 12 is 60 plus 8 is 68. 8 foot 6 inches is 102 inches altogether. And then 11 feet 3 inches makes 135 inches, and I'm trusting you on that. All right, so now we can set up a little portion to figure this out. What would it be? 68 over what? 102. Okay, 68 over 102. So the height of the guy, this is where we have to be careful, divided by the height of the shadow is going to equal, right, the height of the tree, which we will cleverly call x, over the height of its shadow, which is this whole thing right here. So I'm not going to go x over 135. I need to use the entire shadow of the tree, which is 237 inches altogether. So you cross multiply and divide, and how many inches tall is the tree? How many? 158 inches. But we usually don't say how tall trees are in inches. We usually say in feet and inches, right? So what is 158 divided by 12? 13 with a remainder of 2. Okay? So 13 feet, 2 inches. And you have to be careful when you're messing with feet and inches, because if you divide, let me get a calculator phone real quick here. if you take and divide 158 divided by 12, you get 13.16 repeating. That doesn't mean it's 13 feet and 0.16 inches or something like that, because there's 12 inches in a foot, not 10. So to figure out how many inches you have, you really need to go 0.1666 times 12, and that's where you get the 2 inches from. Okay? And now you all know how to measure the heights of trees in your yard. The only problem is
We don't have sun.
we don't have sun. We have no shadows here. So we cannot use this method. Okay? But we could tell other people about it. We could talk to our friends in Florida. Oh, there's one of them now. 12. Okay, Charlie built a rectangular box home for his pet python. Yeah, that hurts, Charlie. Okay, so here's his rectangular box for his pet python, and he ends up using exactly 1 gallon of paint to cover it. Okay, Lucy also built a box for Charlie's pet. Well, what a nice gal Lucy is. But the dimensions that she uses, because I don't know why, are twice as big. Okay? So, how many gallons of paint will Lucy need to paint her box? So in other words, if this side is X, this is 2X. So the ratio of the sides is 2 to 1. How does the ratio of the areas compare to the ratio of the sides? 4 to 1, because area is measured in square units. So I have to take this and square it, so my ratio of the areas is going to be 4 to 1. So if I use 1 gallon of paint on the first one, how many gallons of paint do I need on the second one? 4. So first answer is 4 gallons. Okay? Second question, how many times as much volume does her box have? 8 times as many, yes, because the volume ratio is the cube of the ratio of the sides, and so 2 cubed is 8. So the ratio of the volumes will be 8 to 1. So the boa constrictor will have 8 times as much space to slither around. All right? All right, anything else? Did you try it and not be able to do it, or are you just kind of getting to it right now? Did you try it and you couldn't do it, or are you just kind of looking at it for the first time right now?
I don't know
How to set up the thing? Okay, well it says the first deck is 12 by 15. And the second deck is 16 by 20. So, what is the... First of all, you have to figure out, are these two things similar? So is the ratio 12 to 16 equal to the ratio 15 to 20? Yes or no? Yes, how do you know? Okay, so you could do this by cross multiplying, and 12 times 20 is 240, and 15 times 16 is also 240. Okay, so that means that they are similar shapes. So what is the ratio of them between the dimensions? 3 to 4, because 12 over 6 reduces to 3 over 4, as does 15 to 20. But if we're talking about staining the deck, what feature of the deck, characteristic of the deck are we talking about? Area. So the ratio of the areas is not going to be 3 to 4, it's going to be 9 to 16. So if it costs how much for them to stain it the first time? $150. Then if it's a bigger one, we have to use that proportion to figure out how much it will cost this time. All right, anything else? 17?
I'm taking pictures.
Okay, well, guess what? Our golf match just got canceled.
It did.
Yeah.
Or was it?
At home.
Why did they cancel it then?
They canceled it because of golf course maintenance.
What's that mean?
Well, I guess I'll go take my camera back.
Okay.
Put it all away. But I'll be back.
All right, we'll be here.
I got questions.
Okay, 17. The dimensions of the smaller cylinder are 2/3 of the dimensions of the larger cylinder. So we are supposed to figure out the volume of the smaller cylinder. Canceled, I guess. So if the ratio of the sides, once again, is 2 to 3, how do I figure out the ratio of the volumes? Cube it. So this cube is 8 to 27. Okay, so that means the ratio of the volumes is 8 to 27. So the volume that they give me, 2,160 pi, goes on the top or the bottom? The bottom, because this is the bigger one and this is the bigger number. So the bigger things are going on the bottom and the smaller things are going on the top. And if I were you, I would do this without taking into account the pi. Cross multiply and divide, and then just remember to throw a pi back in there in your answer when you are done. Okay? All right, is there anything else I can help you with? Okay, will you pass those forward?